Welcome to yet another episode of the Leverage Strong Show. My name is Chris Orsini, and I'm really grateful that we're releasing this one on Thanksgiving week because I'm really thankful to have this guy in my life. I'd like to introduce you guys to my good friend, Brad McDaniel.
Thank you very much, and happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Love being here.
So, Brad, you're the CEO and founder, correct, of Likely.ai.
That is correct. Yeah, founded Likely.ai about 4 years ago. Kind of shepherded it through the pandemic, and it's come out even better than it was before. Really focusing on how do we take artificial intelligence, things that agents don't like to work with, right? I mean, data and artificial intelligence, buzzwords people hear, but it's dry, it's boring, it's hard. We know agents love to get belly to belly and sell. So how can we take this and we have a patent for doing this stuff, unlike pretty much everyone else in the market, and apply it in a way that reduces the friction and all the boring stuff associated with leveraging real technology to do more with less during this shift in the market.
Yep, I love it. No, I got to tell you, aside from Command, this is the one product that I get the most questions about.
Really? No
People hit me
way.
up about it all the time. I love it. Yeah, and I just this week, some guy texted me, or over the weekend, he messaged me. He's like, "Hey, you're the guy to go to for Likely.ai stuff," and I'm like, "Yeah, I guess so. Like that's what I've
Yeah.
become." And
Like,
it's
I'll
great.
take that title.
Yep. So it's great. I was able to answer some good questions for people, and it's cool. And what I love about your product is like if you're doing like a database refresh, you can upload it and run it, and then you pay for it after you see the results. And that was one of my favorite things about the product because everyone's like, "Oh, I'm scared to try it." I'm like, "No, no, no. You're not committing to buy it just by uploading your database."
That's exactly right, and I'm so happy that you love that component of it because we want to keep our NPS score. Make sure people still love us. We know that there's a lot of snake oil that's been sold in the industry.
Mhm.
We actually do have a patent for it, and when we started Likely, like we know we have a hill to climb over this. Is this real, right?
Mhm.
Like, and if it is, how does it benefit me today, not in 12 months from now?
Yeah.
And so with the initial product that we launched for the database refresh, it was let's tell them the results. Let's like show them the results of the report. And then that actually excites them, let them purchase the prediction so they can take action on them. But
Yep.
let's not make them purchase blind because I think everyone's gotten burned to some degree by different companies that have come, before this, and
Yep.
we didn't want to fall into that bucket. So we knew we had a hill to climb, and so we're always looking for ways to provide value first, and then if we can help you grow your business, we want to help. If we can't, then hey, we get it. There's you do different things, but when it's a fit, we find that there's a lot of happy people using products, especially when they're kind of going back to the basics, getting back to a skill-based market where it's
Mhm.
not just taking orders anymore. And so
Yep.
that's what people are like, all right, how can I now take this database that's stale mostly, right? Maybe I haven't touched it forever. Like, what can I do with this thing? Like, maybe I've been buying Zillow leads for the last 5 years or 10 years, and I just basically buyer leads. Well, how many of them are going to be sellers? How many still live there? Hey, I've been in
Mhm.
business for 30 years. I got this giant database. I know it's a gold mine. I just don't know how really to attack it because there's duplicates and there's people that don't have any property information. And I don't really want to hire someone to go through this because, like, what a pain that would be.
Yeah.
So, our refresh engine is designed to solve those things.
Yep. And I love it because we know each other from man. It's been about 2 years now, right? Where
These 2 years, yeah.
so you were one of the companies at what was that called? The
Oh, future conference. Is that
Future,
right?
yes, yeah, FutureCon, and that's where you met Cody Gibson,
That's it. Yeah.
and then Cody introduced me to you. And what's great is I've been getting to like get the inside information. We talk, and you've helped me massively with some of the stuff, things I was building with Cody, and then in turn you were asking me questions about where you were going with the product. And it's cool. In my experience over the past 2 years, I've gotten to see that it's not just talk, that you want to provide value first. Like, I've seen the back end of this, and I've seen the way your mind works, and I've seen like the strategies you guys are using, and it's 100% like you are truly coming from value first.
I appreciate you saying that. We kind of take the approach that we know some tech companies think that they're the smartest people in the room, and we do things that are pretty smart, but we always assume that we're not. And so when we get to meet people like you, Chris, and start to get insights, and having you put your fingerprints on the product, I think that's invaluable, because we're all in it to provide the best solution to a big problem that we've seen in the market. And if you're going, hey man, I don't see anyone else trying to solve this thing, like, here, I'm going to give Brad some insight. Oh yeah, look at that! I actually took it and did something with it. That to us is awesome. So we love working with people like you as well, and excited to be on your new podcast, man. Congrats on that.
Yeah, thanks, dude. Yeah, so this has been fun. So one thing I love that and you mentioned it, you already mentioned it, and I'm actually Jessica Borden, going to give her a shout out. She just recently started a MREA, Millionaire Real Estate Agent book club, and we just finished week 2 this morning. And something that we were talking about a lot today was the struggle of agents getting their databases into command. Now, it's not just command, right? It's just getting your database into a CRM that a lot of people are struggling with, because like you said, you've been around for like 30 years and you've got this massive database and you don't even remember who the heck 90% of these people are, or you just like exported all the contacts off of your phone and you're like, I don't remember who Bob is. I've got Bob, I've got his number, his email address, but I don't know who the heck he is, how I know him, what his last name is. And now, instead of like going and doing dollar producing activities, you find yourself stuck in the weeds of trying to clean up this database of people, which is going to lead to dollar producing activities. But you're like, it's like walking through the mud. You're like, once I finish this, I can get to dollar producing activities.
It's a good analogy. It is like walking through mud, because you know that there's gold somewhere in this field, but like, how do I find it when it's all covered in mud? Right. And it's slow and it's yucky and so with AI, and big data kind of combining in ways that I don't think ever has really been done before. We're able to take that 30-year database or a farm or whatever it is, and let's just use the 30-year database, right? Most of that's probably going to be first and last with maybe an email or maybe with a phone number. So it kind of lead form type of data. You're probably going to have some addresses in there that are partial or not there, or with a weird first name because you met them at a party or whatever it would be. That's one of the things that the first thing actually we do when you connect to the Refresh engine is we look at all your contacts, dedupe them, and then run a reverse skip trace. A skip trace, I know, is a scary word. What is that? Basically, we're trying to find the most current address for whatever data that you have associated in your database. That way we then can tell you, hey, Bob Smith lives at this address. And then we do all of the AI surrounding it, provide all the additional information, fill all the gaps, but also how likely are they to sell, or are they distressed? So think of us as kind of enriching your contacts and then applying intelligence to them with automations so you can push it back to wherever you want it to go. So we really want to have that kind of a snap-on to your CRM or to your marketing platform, and think of us as like a guidance system to a dumb bomb, right? 2,000-pound bomb, put a guidance system on. Now it's not a big dumb bomb; it's a really powerful targeted bomb, and that is what we want to do for agents in every stage of the business.
Yeah. So you essentially, if you boil it down, really just it's 2 products that you offer. And then you're releasing a new one soon. We're going to talk about that, right? But you fill 2 needs. One is, I have a database and it needs attention. And the other one is, I need more leads and I need to fill my database, right? So there's the database refresh, which is you upload your database and it cleans everything up for you. Or
Yep.
you do the skip trace, and then you can do the likely and get the likely seller report.
Yep.
And then what's the other one that you got?
The other ones are likely seller licenses, where you can license a county and you get all of the likely sellers in that county each month. The way that kind of works is we build models on a county basis. Every month, we retrain the model and then use that retrained model to score all the single family and condos in that market. Anything that passes a certain threshold, basically, hey, this is a likely seller, it rises up. We then distribute to the limited number of licenses that we allow for each county. So you can take those unmets and turn them into mets, right? Put them into your marketing machine, like whether it's, send one letter a month to them, email marketing, if you want to create custom audiences on Facebook, if you have an ISA to do calling and texting, however you source new business for yourself. We want to basically say, here's a small couple percentage of the market that are the most likely to actually want to engage with you this quarter.
Mm-hmm. So like to me, it reminds me of like calling FSBOs and expireds, but like before they even become a FSBO expired, right? Like you've gone so far back you've gone as far back in the pipeline as you can possibly go, because you take public data, right?
Mhm.
And just whatever, and run it through artificial intelligence, right? You
Yeah,
got all the you're actually using all the buzzwords. You're using artificial intelligence and machine learning, right?
we are various forms of machine learning, kind of mosaic of different machine learning models. But you're right, like we take the data that you have and do our machine learning to it. Right? That's the
Mm-hmm.
simplest way to say it. The types of data we use, if you kind of want to geek out a little bit there, think about it as a couple of different categories. First category is real estate data, so that's assessor, recorder, AVM, pre-foreclosure, open lien, all whatever Uncle Sam knows about each property in the 3,142 different municipalities we got, right? And that's updated daily, weekly, or monthly, depending. So it's as good as it can get. Then we layer in demographic data. We've got over, I think it's 168 million demographic files. Each file is a person, and we got over 418 data points on each person. So put the people in the homes, understand what's going on, then start laying in like macroeconomic things, right? So this is the third category. So VIX index, consumer confidence, gas prices, weather patterns, stuff that's intangible, doesn't make any sense, but we found ways to have it actually resonate with the desire to sell a home. And then the final one is what's actually on the market, the MLS data in every area. So we use all that data over the last 4 years, building hundreds and hundreds of engineered features, taking all these tens of thousands of fields and whittling them down to ones that actually have what we call signal, to whatever the model is that you're training for. And so we deliver that. We've been able to scale it up from one county, which took like 3 months to build, and now we have thousands of them all over the country, and making customers grow their databases and their market share through something that's real. Technology that exists, it just hasn't been done very well in real estate to date.
Yeah. That blows my mind, all the data points. I didn't even realize that. Because like originally I was thinking, and this was like 2 years ago too, but I was thinking like, pretty much anybody could do what Likely.ai is doing, just not at the scale and scope that you're doing it, right? Like I could
Yeah.
find one address and filter through as much public data as I can, and probably spend a day determining whether this person is likely to sell or not.
Yeah,
Or you could do it
you
in like
definitely could.
minutes with but I mean, even just all the other factors in there, I don't think, it's not even humanly possible to get the results that you get.
And
It,
that's one of those interesting things, Chris, is like the more we got into it, it wasn't it's not impossible to replicate. It's just going to take a lot of time and energy. And we've gone through over 20 data scientists, each one bringing different expertise. Our currently best performing model uses synthetic data, which he has a patent for, which is fake data. I know some portion of it fills in holes in the data set because all these are so dirty. So where it gets complicated isn't that you're doing a filtering or something like that. I think everyone has done that and kind of gets the idea how to build like a little farm, right? It's that you want to apply like thousands of possible parameters to something,
mm-hmm.
and it's kind of one of those buy versus build decisions. Like as
Yeah.
a market center, as a team leader, as an agent, do I go out and spend my resources into trying to build something that I can claim as my own, or do I make a ton of money and do I do do I succeed in what my core mission is, which is, getting belly to belly with sellers, right? Or buyers who want to sell before they buy,
Mm-hmm.
and have those conversations. No one can do it better than me once I'm in that room. Just help me get in that room, likely. Like that's all I need your help with. Like
Yep.
so that's kind of where that buy versus build decision matrix comes down. And because we expect, I put myself in the shoes. I grew up in this industry. Like, I mean, I remember when I was little, I think I've told this story to Cody before. I have a very clear memory of doing a trifold and stuff for my father with my brother, my older brother and younger sister on Friday nights. We'd get 2 VHS Blockbuster videos, and we'd have a bin full of these flyers that we had to do a trifold and stuff to take them in these bins, like, for 2 movies, 2 full movies, right? But I was like, this is tough. Like, this is like, man, like, is the best we can do is just carpet bomb areas? And it was, it really was. And going to college and all that, like, there's got to be a smarter way, use it for your marketing efforts. And
Mm-hmm.
but we understand there's also expense, that there still has to be letter sent. There still has to be money spent on advertising. You still have to have an ISA, however you to choose to actually make that connection happen. So we price our product in a way to allow for that to occur, but with a net benefit reduction of OpEx.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's funny. You said weather, and I'm really curious now to see what happens to like the west coast of Florida as far as the data goes post Hurricane Ian, right?
Oh
Like
yeah.
I'm
Yep.
curious to see where things fluctuate, if things start popping, or if likely sellers who weren't likely sellers now become likely sellers because of, or vice versa, because of the hurricane.
Yeah, that is, we've had several people contact us just about Western Florida,
Mm-hmm.
not West Coast down there, with different, hey, do you have these and these parameters that we could use for this other thing over here? And so I think that there's definitely some interesting things happening right now, in kind of your neck of the woods. I can't really speak too much about it, but
Yeah, it's too early on to
yeah, there's a lot of
really
people that have
see,
been,
but
asked us about that. Like, hey, you built
yeah.
that COVID distress model. Can you build like a hurricane model? Can you like help us with that? And we're like, yeah, we can. Just I need to see the market. So that's
Yeah.
what's really, really cool, Chris, about building a business like Likely, is that I think for the first time, the industry is waking up and realizing that AI is not like a magic genie that you rub and gold falls out. It's intelligence that allows you to take action if it's done
Mm-hmm.
right. And that once you see a company that's done something in this space that isn't just marketing automation, what else can you guys do? Can you also help me with this, or can you help me with agent retention or churn metrics, or so we get a
Yeah.
lot of those fun things that we do have a roadmap we would like to be launching, but nothing today. So
Yeah.
nothing on that topic to talk about
Yeah,
today.
I know how it is with Command. Like once we launched it, it was like, oh, does it do this and that and that and that, right?
Yeah,
Like it's,
exactly.
you want to see what else it can do, and that's really cool. And I think you made a point there that's really big, is that like you're enabling the agent to get to their 20% quicker, right?
Yeah,
Their 20% is getting in front of a person, is setting that appointment and sitting in front of a person and getting that contract. And you're helping refine the activities it takes to get in that seat. And I think that's, people don't always see the value of that. I think that's massively valuable, especially in the market we're going into, right? With going into a skills-based market, do I want to spend my 3 hours of lead gen just cherry picking or just kind of shooting in the dark, or do I want to spend that 3 hours hitting people that are most likely to actually sit in front of me and get a contract with? So
and to that, just to elaborate for a second, is there's a lot of desire, but without having something that's executable. So either it's a marketing person on your team, or a platform like Command, or whatever you choose to use, to allow you to take intelligence and actually flip it into contracts. it sits there wasted. And so, like, if you're,
Yep.
if you're a team leader or someone that's looking for ways to boost business or recruit new agents, I can talk about that at length. It does have some great use cases there, especially if you already have some systems in place internally.
Mm-hmm.
We strongly encourage. We got best practice books and like things that we've developed over the last couple of years. But people are like, hey, what do I send? What do I say? Here we always provide those to new clients. But it still comes down to being able to actually put them into action, right? Putting them into practice. And so, that's one thing I do love about the Keller Williams model is that there's so much support surrounding either it's an individual agent or a small team or even up to a mega, right? I mean, everyone's kind of pulling together, especially within a market center. So enough said.
Yep.
We
So,
love that. We love that component of it.
yep. So I alluded to a third product that you're launching soon. How about we jump into that now?
I'd love to show you. Yeah. So what we're calling is it's refresh engine, and it's the evolution of our database refresh, right? So how this all works is we have this core IP of these likely seller models, what we've been building over time, like hundreds of variations, back testing up the wazoo. We've taken the Pepsi challenge with kind of the people that have been in the market for a little while. Every time we end up tasting better, which is a good thing. But it's still, we need to make it easy for our clients, reduce that friction for them to actually use the intelligence. That's kind of what we've been talking about over the last 30 minutes. And so what the refresh engine is it kind of brings all those components together to where when you upload a set of contacts, we do that skip trace, we fill in those gaps, then we score the properties for you. We continually score them, and we have, think of it as like a change log. So anytime anything in the property, like ownership or valuation or scoring changes, like we pop up a little message to you that you can then push back with the tag back to Command or Follow Up Boss or Zapier or whatever platform you're using that can trigger those campaigns, that you said, hey, I want to, an off-market non-owner campaign or a likely seller campaign. If, the person's, score goes up by 10%, I would kind of want to put them on a hot cognition campaign. Like, take it to where you don't have to think about it anymore. You go through once during setup, kind of set the automations you want to trigger, and then you can connect to your lead sources to it. And as more contacts and leads come in, we just continue to process them and push them back to wherever it is that you want to work with them. And if you want to do a custom campaign, you can do all this filtering and sorting inside the platform and export it to send it somewhere else, maybe that's not connected. So, excuse me, it really is the evolution of what we've learned over the last 4 years. Being in market with different products that have to do with artificial intelligence in real estate. So happy to kind of give you a quick little walkthrough if you'd like, or what I just said was enough. I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, no, jump into it. So just so I make sure I understand this. So this is sort of like taking the database refresh, which is just a static data point, and turning this into a data point that continually refreshes.
That's it. That's exactly it. Rather than a snap, like one, like, hey, we'll make a prediction. It's a kind of snapping a line.
Mm-hmm.
We snap a line every day now, right? And that way, anything
Oh,
that
it updates
changes
every day?
every single day. So
Wow.
it depends on which table it's from, but basically, if there's new data on that property or the score, we push it, and that way you can take action on it. So whether it's on, maybe it's on or off the MLS, or maybe it is something to do with an ownership or in and out of a trust, or that the prediction score went up or down, or the LTV or the AVM, or I'm using a lot of acronyms. I just realized.
Yeah. Alphabet
Loan
soup.
to value, that's automated valuation. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, geek speaking it. Forgive me.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically all those types of things, we know there's a ton of value. We know that only,
Yep.
let's just say maybe 5%, 6%, a healthy market of your contacts in a market that want to sell or will sell. But there's a lot of other touch points that allow you to capture that business that maybe is a little further out, but it establishes you and kind of reiterates that you're on top of that market. And that's what those kind of real-time, triggers can allow you to do.
Yep. So you've got a sneak peek
I do. Yeah.
ready for us. So if you're listening and not watching this, you will want to maybe pause it or come back later and watch the video so you can see what we're showing here. So this is the dashboard that you get.
Yeah, this is the dashboard. So when you first time you come in, what you're asked to do is to upload some contacts. And you can do that in a couple of different ways. I'm not going to bore your audience with how to do that, but just with the options that they have. They can use like a flat CSV or Excel. Basically, think of anything you can export out of your CRM or marketing platform, we can take. You can upload manually as you meet people or whatever it is. You can do one-offs, or you can connect an app like a Follow Up Boss or MoxieWorks or Command, hopefully coming soon, that then will allow you to just sync continually. And like an example with Follow Up Boss, you can just say, I want all of the people that are in my nurtured, smart list, and hit go, and it'll just start importing all of those contacts. So it's really simple and slick to do, but we made it so you have options. Now, once you get them in, this is when the magic starts to happen. So we've now skip traced them. So we find that at least 58% or more of people's contacts in the real estate industry don't have a physical property address, which is kind of a challenge when that's the asset that you're looking to actually sell. So we take that lead form type of data and find an address for them. From there, we start our modeling. And what you get on the dashboard is, how many unique contact properties out of, deduping and all this thing, like how many contact properties, like how many properties could I sell that exist in my database? In this case, in the 3 files I think I have in here, my iPhone contacts, a farm, and then past clients, right? So it ended up being about 2,000 contacts, properties. Out of those 2,000 contact properties, we've identified 246 of them as likely sellers right now, with a value of $230 million. So you can take your 2-3% off of that to kind of get what your GCI could be. And then out of all of our contacts, 29 of the predictions we've made previously are currently on the market. So it's like, hey, take those and stop marketing to them right away. You can click through and you hit export, and you can send them to your printer and say, please stop sending $1 a month on these 29 people. That adds up pretty quickly. Now, every single day on the right here, you can see that we're sending these new updates to the tax assessor or to the prediction value or whatever it is that the model, the system saw change for that property. So it looks at a lot of tax assessors that came in. So tax assessments must have come in for this county that day. But we're looking at probably about 24 things right now. We're going to expand it to pretty much every field that covers a property. So whether you're an investor or agent or loan officer, there's things that you care about, like loan to value or percentage of property to improvement of the assessor, or if it's on market, or how much equity they have in the property. Like all of those things are in play, and you can get notifications of. We also really want to highlight to our clients that we're not selling snake oil. So this is how well the database is performing, or our models are performing for this database. This is a live account, by the way, not like a spoofed one. So this is over the last 12 months, how many of our predictions have listed and sold, and kind of within each month. And then this box here shows in the last 90 days, how well are our models performing our predictions compared to your database. And so 1 out of every 8 of our predictions has listed, whereas 1 out of every 48 of the properties in your database have listed. So, hey, market to all of them. You have to talk to 48 people to talk to 1 seller, or use our platform and you get to talk to 8 people and then you can talk to 1 seller, basically. So how valuable is it, right? Is it actually working? Is it worth you spending money? And you'd get this dashboard basically, just not clickable, if you run a kind of come in and try it, right? Like, should I buy this or not? Then down here, we tell you kind of current state. So 76% we were able to match. Usually it's a little higher than that. So, we usually find somewhere, I guess it's somewhere between 70 and 85% we get matches on, and are able to add an address. So we really do, improve it from where you have, let's call it 20-30% before, now to having, 70 to 80% of your contacts with an address.
Yeah, that's really good.
And then with automations, and I can show you, there's a map view, and you can click through and you can do filtering, and you can do these things that allow you to match off-market properties with some type of buyer or investor, or some type of lending option that you want to do. But with the automations, this is where you can set, hey, every time that this tag comes into play, I don't know. Actually, I'll call it. What should I call this? Should I call it new likely seller? Right. So every time a new likely seller comes on, I want to push this to follow boss. Right. And so there's the new tag. And then what the system will be doing is we'll be setting these tags for clients. And when you're looking at all of your contacts, let's just say that, I don't know, just randomly pick someone. Let's just say that this person is now a new likely seller.
And just to clarify, these are tags within Likely.ai, not tags within your current CRM.
Correct. But it would pass then that tag to your current CRM or platform. So you can use that tag to then trigger that campaign, that marketing automation, right? So that could trigger a 30-day drip campaign, right? That has letters and calls and everything else mixed in. Gary and everyone else within your org are amazing at the coaching and follow-up processes. So all we're doing is we're enabling you to find the right people and target them to be most effective in your campaign strategy.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing, and I'm only saying it because you already said it, that when this integrates with command, something we can do is create some smart plans that are set up with a tag trigger, and then they get tagged in here, and then it pushes that tag to command, and then that'll start firing off a smart plan. This is crazy. It's insane. This is crazy. Like, you can, I don't know. It blows my mind that we can get this. We have this product that is monitoring public data in a way that we don't have to monitor it. And then we can have actionable steps that are automatically happening based off those activities. This is the future.
And it's only going to get better. I would say that this is a good first version of what this platform will become. But now just kind of geek out with me for a minute, expand your mind, like all of the other things that are associated with your contacts, right? You've done the hard work of finding them and working with them. What if you want to refer them out to a lender, or you want to refer them out to a home servicer, or if we start making predictions on those things, we give you triggers now to go and talk to them about, hey, if you're ever looking for a new pool guy or a great person to do a remodel, you could become that like voice where you don't have to even do a Google search. Your realtor that helped you buy this house comes back to you and goes, hey, just by the way, in case you're ever thinking about it, it's like, well, shit. Sorry. Shoot. I was like, I didn't know that realtors now are tied into Google speakers and they're listening to everything we talk about. It's like, it's just predictions. But it's based upon good math, very high level. But that's the kind of, like, you can go and we expand. I can talk to you for a long time, Chris. But think about that,
I know.
where you can take something that is, everyone preaches the database, and this is your this is where all my business comes from, and this is your nest egg. But everyone treats it like something that's second order. And I think. From what we've been talking with folks about, is it's because it's hard to work with, and realtors aren't essentially data people, and so they want to get the benefit of all of this, but they don't want to or have a care to learn how to. So Brad, make this easy for me. Reduce all of this. Like, I don't want to be a data scientist. I don't want to hire a data engineer. I just want the benefit. I want to get more listings from my database. Help me do that in an automated way. That's what this platform is designed to do.
That's incredible. So I'm a little speechless. I just love this product. I think it's so cool. So
thank you, man.
What's the pricing like then? Because that's usually the kicker, right?
Yep. Can definitely be. So yeah, great question. We're going to be launching December 1st. We have a lot of people that are in beta right now. So there is a pre-launch early access offer that if you go to the link that's on the screen, you'll be able to get exclusive access to that because of the relationship with Chris. Two is that after that, and all we're going to really ask for, actually, to stay on that for 1 second, is actually to pay for the post. You hear on the infomercial, oh, yeah, just pay for postage, you get the product for free. Well, we want to do that for the real estate industry, but we're not actually going to be sending a parcel to you. What we're going to be doing is sending all of the data that you want. And so we'll give you the product for free for 2 months. We want you to try this because we know you'll love it. All we're asking for you is cover the postage, which is the skip trace, a pen, like the enrichment piece that we would actually usually eat. But because we want to give you the product, we're asking you just to pay for that. Then you get the playbooks, you get everything else included. And once the first 2 months are done, it's just $49 per 1,000 contacts. And that's 50% off our regular price. So you're going to get this really sweet pre-launch early access offer if you sign up before December 1st. Once we do launch it, it'll be $49 a month per 500 contacts. As simple as that. And that can scale up and down with you. If you use MailChimp or HubSpot or any of these other platforms that are kind of, number of contacts you're marketing to based, identical. It's designed to take those best practices and make it easy to explain and use. You get an opportunity for this pre-launch special if you so decide to throw your hat in the ring and join us on this rocket ship.
So it's less than 10 cents a contact then?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Month to
less
month.
Less than 10 cents a contact. Yes, exactly. Yep. And it's only pretty unique property. So if you have two Mr. Smiths and both at 101 Main Street, that's only one person, right? So we do that dedupe when we're trying not to gouge it. This is designed to be a force multiplier.
Yeah. I love that. And then how much is what was the first 2 months? You said, so you get the product for free. You're just, for the first 2 months, you're just paying for the skip trace. Yep.
For the skip tracing of up to 1,000 contacts for matches. So that's $59.97 is what we basically would eat. And we're saying, hey, just cover that for us and we'll give you the product at no charge.
So $59 up to 1,000 contacts. And that's $59 a month for 2 months.
One-time payment.
So $59, you get skip trace for 1,000 contacts.
And all the scoring.
The
stress, likely seller, all the automations, all the updates, everything. I mean, it's a smoking deal. I think we added up as like over $700 for stuff that we're going to give, just because we want to get a lot of agents using this because we know that it's once you try it, it kind of becomes a little bit addictive. I mean, I exported my cell phone contacts. You'll love this. And I had about almost 2,000 contacts on my cell phone. Ugh. Right. I mean, people from college and everything else. No one, I think I had like 20 or 30 that had an address. And now I have 1,600 that have addresses. Right.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa. I did that on like a Friday afternoon just to play with it. And I was like, man, okay, now I'm getting excited. I can bottle this emotion right now. If I can bottle this and just provide that to people, agents, brokers that are in the market that are, tired of losing deals that are in their database, this is going to be a grand slam because we're going to provide so much value that no one will know or want to do business without it.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And so is this product something you're only selling to agents, or are you also selling this to market centers as well?
We do it to market centers and teams as well. We've had a ton of market centers come to us, a ton being at least a dozen, saying, once we are working with a recruit, at a certain point, they trust us and we would love to show them something like this. Hey, drop your database in here and show them the value that they could get by joining our team, right? It's something that's in-house. And then that market center can decide if they pay for it or not, kind of cover the cost. We do provide that with a kind of a white labeled version. So you pick your own URL, you kind of put your logo in there. So you kind of get that extra benefit that it's all part of your group, as well as if you're looking for a retention of your great agents that already work with you. It is also a way for you to kind of spot bonus or to bring them on and start covering the cost for them. So in that regard, that's just a different conversation. It's not a one-off. We'd actually want to have a call with you. So you can get in touch with us on that one on Likely.ai/contact and just put in there that, that you heard us on your show and that you're interested from a market center standpoint. And, how do we do this? And
Yep.
we'll get in touch and walk you through it.
That's awesome. And I've also seen a lot of market centers sign up for the county licenses for their Team Ridge programs, yes, which has been pretty cool. So yeah, I think this applies to a lot of people. And as Brad said, we got some links for things. So I've got 2 links to throw at you guys. So if you are interested in either the database refresh or the county licenses, I've got a link to take you to, it's our referral link. It's likely.leveragestrong.com. Now, if you want to get early access to the refresh engine?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So if you want to get early access to the refresh engine, you want to go likely early access.leveragestrong.com. So likely early access.leveragestrong.com. The links will be, you'll probably see them flash up on the screen now. And yeah, Brad will take good care of you. There's not been one person that I've sent you guys that's been like, oh man, they're a bunch of jerks. Like everyone's appreciated it, whether or not they've been able to sign up, but they've all had good experiences talking with your team. So,
well, thank you. We love to hear that. Being from the industry, my whole family's in the real estate industry still to date. I hate it when I hear about companies trying to take advantage, because we know that there's a lot of kind of fly by nights that, make it a challenge for a vendor in this space to say, no, we're legitimate. We're not trying to sucker you. Like this is a product that we've spent time and energy building because we know it fits a need. If some circumstance comes up that makes it to where you need us to work with you, we do, because we know agents talk. It's not a huge industry at the end of the day. And so we want everyone to say, hey, you know what? Whatever the situation was, like those guys stood up and were honorable to work with. And even if we had to lose money on a couple of deals here and there, because I felt like it was the right thing to do. If my mom had been in that situation, what I told my team to do, what we did, it was as simple as that.
Yeah. Awesome, Brad. Well, I'm super grateful that I got to have you on. Always grateful for our friendship. And again, if anyone has questions about Likely.ai, I've used it in the past, feel free to ask me or hit the links in the description below and get some information directly from their product team. So thank you again, Brad.
Hey, Chris, thank you, man. I love being part of whatever you do. So thank you for asking me on. And, in the future, if you have more questions and you say, hey, get Brad back on and just let him answer these questions for everybody. Happy to do it, man.
Awesome. All right. Have a happy Thanksgiving, all.